How's it going, everyone? This is Ty Talks, where I get to answer your real estate questions. If you have a question as a buyer or a seller, you can ask me in the comments below, but let's dive in. Every single time I like to go into a buyer and a seller tip of the month. So starting off with our buyers, my very first tip, connect with your lender if you've been actively searching to make sure you can still afford the same amount of house that you started your search with and that it still makes sense for your budget. With the interest rates increasing, we just want to make sure that you're looking for the right home at the right price that fits your needs. Very quickly, interest rates today are sitting right around 6% as of September 13th, 2022. So make sure you check in with your lender and that you're still going to be marching towards your goals. Now for the seller tip of the month, be patient, tune out the national headlines and listen to your market, your buyers, if you've already listed your home, as well as your real estate agent. Everything in real estate is hyper localized, and the context that you're hearing on the national headlines and national news providers may not be a perfect fit. It's not the case here in Milwaukee where we're situated, so just make sure you consult your local experts. Just a quick stat, I know everyone's kind of asking, and I always like to share this. Currently here in our local market, percent of list price is 102.7%, meaning you're still getting over list price offers out there. So consult with your local expert to see if it's the same for you. Now, for a quick pause, if you're finding this information helpful, please share it with a friend and hit the subscribe button, as well as hit the notification bell so you can get a heads up whenever we release new content. We want to be your resource to make sure you can make great real estate decisions. So now on to the questions for this month. We get these questions from our active buyers, sellers, and just also from some of the headlines and just information we think that people want to know. So first up, are we now in a buyer's market? And the best way I can answer this is it's not black and white, but the stat I always kind of speak to is how many months of supply do we have, or what's the state of our inventory. So here in the Milwaukee area, we're sitting under 2 months of supply, and balanced is considered to be closer to 6. So are we more close to a seller's market than a buyer's market? I believe so. But over the last few months, we've definitely seen a shift and a movement towards the buyer having a little bit more control, a little bit more leverage in our transactions. So definitely, if you've been discouraged, not wanting to enter because the market's just too tough, it might be time to reconsider, especially as we here in a Midwest market of Milwaukee transition towards the winter months and days on market, as well as our months of supply naturally increase. It might be our opportunity to finally get you that home that you've been looking for. Next up, do I still need to waive my inspection or appraisal in order to get an accepted offer? So, you might have heard this from friends, family, whatever it might be, and it is never the recommendation that any real estate agent's going to give you to waive those contingencies that protect you, the buyer, in the transaction. Unfortunately, that's definitely where this market got to. So my best recommendation to you, as the market is somewhat shifted towards the buyer's favor, but still very much a heavy seller's market depending on where you're searching, find ways to soften up those contingencies by putting dollar amounts that you might not be requesting the seller to fix if it's under a certain dollar threshold. It shows them that you're a serious buyer and you're not going to be looking to nickel and dime them to death all the way through the transaction. That might just be what you need, along with a good offer price and showing that you're a very well-qualified buyer with your pre-approval letter and your lender choice to make sure that you're getting your offers accepted. Next on the list, I actually get this one a good amount of time / maybe it's not a question asked enough, but when is the right time to reach out to my real estate agent? And this could be both for buyers or for sellers. Now, when do you check in with your financial advisor? Or are you checking on your stocks and your investments on a somewhat frequent basis? Your real estate professional should be serving that for you as well, because markets change month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. And if you haven't had a conversation with your real estate professional around you, I definitely encourage you to have them come visit your home, take a look at any sort of updates that you have going on, and maybe just give you a market snapshot of what's closed in the last 3 months in your area. That might be an indicator of your home's worth and how that might actually impact your net worth. So definitely a recommendation to stay in contact with your agents. If you're a buyer and you might be looking next year, it's important to start that conversation now so that you can start talking about needs and wants, and they can start learning what are you going to be looking for. They might be able to set more realistic expectations as opposed to you showing up with a pre-approval letter and your wish list and being totally crushed that maybe your wish list isn't totally aligned with what the market's going to present to you. And then next, super common question that we get, what are the top 3 things that I can do to get more for my home when I list it for sale? And it's very straightforward, very easy. First, declutter. You want to make sure that the buyer walking through can see themselves in the home, and that includes removing some of your personal effects, whether it's your pictures or maybe some of your interests. Maybe you have some unique art that represents some of your own interests. Clean a lot of that up and try to make it as fresh and open for the buyers to be able to picture themselves in your home. Next, and this is a favorite one for me, for everyone who knows me, and I'm a big analytical guy, is price your home using data. There's not as much value sometimes put behind having really great terms, such as on inspection and appraisal, and pricing your home competitively with other homes that have sold recently, other homes that are currently listed on the MLS are going to give you an advantage in terms of getting maybe multiple offers, creating that frenzy, putting your agent in a position where they can offer multiple counter offers and get you the best price for the sale of your home. And last, as always, good marketing and good photography. Make sure that you've got a competent agent that's got a good network and knows how to share out their information, connect you with buyers that are out there if you've got maybe an interesting property or something very specific about it, but also make sure that photography shines through all of the work you've done to declutter and get your place nice and cleaned up and ready to show. So those are my 3 tips for you. That does conclude, as we kind of, move on out, that's the questions for this month, but I have a question for you. Do you have any questions that you would like answered? Are there any facts that you want answered every single month? Some certain statistics that are going to help you make better decisions with your real estate? Let me know. I'd love to help you out however I can. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this content. I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.